Alrighty, we're going to go through the process of setting up a dedicated email domain so that your emails hit the inbox that they're supposed to and they're not going to spam and junk. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go down to settings. So you click on settings, and once you're in settings, you'll scroll down and you'll see email services. So email services, this is where you're going to set up your email sending records, your DNS records. So we're back to DNS records. What we need to do is make sure that we have some sort of domain. You might have an email that's like insurancebusiness42@gmail.com. If you have a business that's a Gmail just like that, you're going to run into issues with this. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to go onto Squarespace or onto GoDaddy. And if you're running a business, it's time to have a business email. It's like $6 or $7 a month, and you can create like a support email. You can create whatever off of that, but you need to have some sort of business branded email in order to properly do this, so that you can be sending out mass emails and doing that kind of marketing. So the first thing you do is you go to email services, and then you click on dedicated domain and IP. And I'm assuming that you've gone through the process of setting up a Google business email. So you've done that part. And I would recommend that you do it on Squarespace. Has pretty good prices. It's really easy to navigate, and I'll be navigating that today. There are a few different providers out there, but I found that Squarespace is the easiest when it comes to trying to get to your DNS records and to edit them. And that is one of the most important things when it comes to setting all this up. So I'm assuming you got your Google business set up. We're going to go ahead and set up the domain. So what we do is we just click on add domain, and then we need to set up some sort of replies um, email here, or subdomain. So we'd say maybe like no replies dot leadshop.org. So you could basically take your domain, say your domain is insuranceguy.com, and you just add a subdomain. So like no replies dot insuranceguy.com. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. And this is going to lay out like the steps right here. So type in that subdomain right there, and then you're going to click on add and verify. And then what it's going to do is it's going to create a couple of different DNS records that we're going to transfer into our domain provider. So right here it says add record manually. Then you got these 5 different records right here that you can add. So we go over into Squarespace or into our domain provider, and you're going to see your domains list. You're then going to go into that domain, go to DNS, and then right here you're going to add that record. So you click on add record, and then you got host, type, priority, time to live, and data. And we're going to just match up what we can. So we got record, txt, host is SMTP. We're going to go ahead and drop the host right there. We're going to go ahead and put txt right here. And then we're going to go in and click on that required value, and then we're going to paste it and then save. And we're going to go through that process for each of these 5 records. And then after we're done, we're going to click verify records. Now it's going to take us to a page to make sure that they're all linked up there. And when we do that, we just want to make sure that they all show as green as verified. And it might look something like this. So you'll want to make sure that everything says verified. You might want to refresh and then try it again. And then this record right here, this DMARC reply record, is going to show up as optional. You can go ahead and set that up. So if this domain right here, do not reply, the one that I'm working off of, we go into DNS and it's not on, Then we're just going to go ahead and do that same thing. I'm just going to take on DMARC, copy, add a TXT record. You want to make sure if you just saw that you see this giant space, you got to delete that space right there. Otherwise, it's not going to register properly. There's been times that I've sat for hours trying to figure out why my records aren't verifying. You just got to delete the space. That's it. All right, then go ahead and paste and then save that record. And then now that we've got this DMARC record on, we can go ahead and verify it. And it should show up as green there. It might take a second to do. If every time that you go through and add a domain here, you can you're going to see a bunch of them. You can add multiple domains to send out emails from. So here we got our verified domain. We can click on verify, check to see. Now we see that the DMARC record is verified. So we're totally good to go when it comes to sending out emails. So we can edit the header. This would be lead shop, and then I've input the email that I want to use. So I bought this domain, say, and in this case, do not reply leadshop.org is the domain. So if you are concerned about your domain reputation being affected by the amount of emails that you want to send, then I would recommend setting up a domain that's somewhat similar to your current domain and using that for your email marketing. And then you go in to that domain provider like Google, and then you just buy an email with it. So in this case, you just go to the email, click on a Google Workspace, and then we're going to see that we have an email set up with it right there. That are, it's $6-7 a month. So yeah, that is what we're using there. So replies at, do not reply. And then with that, you've got your kind of your email marketing domain that's ready to go. It's set up. And then you can kind of think of these if you need to as burner emails, but you don't want to burn through them. You actually want to nurture these emails, because if you just burn through them, your emails are not going to send. Just because you go through this process and set this up does not mean that all of a sudden you're going to have 100% deliverability. It's not the case. Google Workspace, Google Emails, these different email services rely very heavily on sender reputation. And so if you're sending out really spammy looking emails, their softwares are going to pick up on that, and they're going to say, we're not delivering this. No, we're going to put this in the junk folder for them. So you got to be careful about that, and you got to not be under the impression that just because you get this set up, you're going to be totally good to go. So you click on save. So the header here is going to be what they see, what your customer sees when they receive your email. So that's why I clicked on here on the three dots and said set headers, because those are the same headers that are going to hit their inbox. So you could do your name of your business. You could say Taylor with Lead Shop, or Joe, the insurance guy. You could set it to whatever, and then go ahead and put in the email that you're going to be sending from. Make sure it's that same email that's tied to the domain that you just verified here. Then you're going to get this warm up, this kind of domain warm up. And this is just where you have emails that are going to be going out. This is going to kind of help limit things a little bit so that the domain is warming up, and it's going to help improve your sender reputation, making sure that you don't just right out of the gate start blasting people and destroying your reputation. So that this warm-up stage, it's going to show up as stages that you are going to move through as you send more and more emails every day. So this is here to help you. If you have questions, just let us know. But you want to make sure that this is set up if you're going to be doing mass marketing. So to recap, go to settings, go to email services, add a domain, make sure you got a domain provider on GoDaddy, Squarespace, etc. Go log in to those DNS settings, And then once you've got your domain ready to go, type in that CNAME, replies dot or no replies dot, then use your URL, or sorry, your domain. And then after you've added that, you'll add each of those DNS records. Then you can add the DMARC record, that last one I showed you, and then make sure everything shows as verified. Once it shows as verified, you can go ahead and set your header. And then once you've set your header, now your email is ready to go. You can click on email services and go back to that. And then dedicated domain and IP, it's again showing up right there. So when you go through and you set up different emails on the platform here, you can select that email to be the email that you send from, or that you use for different automation drips. So make sure you do that, and that will help improve your deliverability. If you have any questions, please let us know.